What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Run Pure Sports Hardwood Show for some Monday night NBA action. We have 7 games, all starting for the most part relatively soon or close after lock. I mean, we have 6 games starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have 1 game starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. So we should have basically all the news we need. It's just a matter of when we get these last few pieces. We got some pretty decent news before we hopped on. D'Angelo Russell is going to return for the Timberwolves, so that kind of muddies up that situation a little bit. They're looking like they were going to potentially be one of the more chalky teams, but him in is certainly a downgrade. So we'll go through, we'll break it all down. But I am here today with my boys, Mr. Big T, and more importantly, return of the chart master himself, Mr. K. Fallick. What's going on, K. Fallick? Thanks for joining us here today.
I just didn't want y'all to be lonely today, so I thought I'd hop on in when I noticed that it was a 2-man booth. I didn't want that tension there without somebody being the referee for a little bit. But it's good to be on as always.
Yeah, anytime it's me and Big T and you want to hop on, we will certainly welcome you. And you can't give me and Big T that much attention. A 2-man booth, me and Big T, that wouldn't be good. We need a third party to intervene every now and then. So we appreciate you doing that. More than welcome whenever you want. Big T, what's going on? You have a good weekend?
Yeah, it was a fun weekend. Bunch of members you're going to get to that shipped again this weekend. NBA, like always, fun time when our members are winning. We say it all the time, but I know I just enjoy it when we get to the end of these nights and some of our regular people are doing good. And 2 of our main regulars, who Hoop's going to get to in a minute, shipped on Saturday night, 50K. Love to see it. Tonight we got college hoops too, which you guys talked a little bit at the beginning, but all the NBA starts early except 1 game starts slightly later. And then the college game tonight with some huge college contests too. So it's going to be a fun night, and baseball on top of it, as most of you just watched the baseball show. So it's going to be a fun night. Pumped to get at it.
Yeah, and then I mean, also you get the Masters on Thursday, unless who is it, Keith Olbermann? Unless Keith Olbermann gets his way. What a freaking donkey! I mean, what an absolute piece of crap. I mean, scumbag, loser. I mean, if you haven't seen the video, I mean, I don't even watch it because it's so hurtful, right? We always use the word hurtful. That is hurtful.
There's people that have a ton of different beliefs out there about different, but like this is one I think everyone kind of agrees on, that he was just being a donkey with his take. Like, I mean, you can have different takes with stuff, but don't turn everything. This is always what I hate. And I just don't turn everything political. Let the sporting event be the sporting event. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, I don't think there's any risk of the Masters being. It's like one of the most historic sporting events, probably like in our country. I mean, it has to be, right? The Masters. Everyone can get behind the Masters. So fun, awesome to see. I mean, so many great storylines every season, and this year obviously is no different. Yeah, keep that crap out. Like we want the Masters. It's happening on Thursday. So great time to become a member at Run Pure Sports if you haven't signed up yet. You're going to get NBA analysis. You're going to get our MLB content. You're going to get our PGA content. Every single sport, like I say every time, I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing it, but every single sport, same price. And as a bonus, if you join our Discord channel, you get K. Fallick's charts too. Just an added bonus. Like
I almost brought a chart onto the show. I was like really considering it, but I didn't have time today to put anything in. Monday after the holidays is not a good day to throw me in and expect a nice little chart prepared.
My favorite is how good the back of your office looks. Like you've never even wanted to do shows at all. It just naturally looks like that behind you.
Yeah,
Hoop's got freaking hula hoop ornament things behind him. Look at your setup.
It's beautiful. Hey,
for 7 years.
Did you get your present from DraftKings yet? I'm still waiting to hear what it is.
I am too. They left me out to dry a little bit.
Oh man, MPK better get to work.
I haven't seen nothing. They sent me another email today wanting to shoot another promotion or something. Where's the Bryson gear? Come on.
Big T is going to be too famous for us here at Run Pure Sports. It's going to be a sad day. Just too famous. Yeah, but in terms of my background, it's freaking awful. Yeah, I mean, so like there's one thing. Hoop gets his way a lot in this household. Don't get me wrong. Like I have a lot of shit under control in my house. It's the one thing the wife has full control over is like the decorations and like the crap that goes in. She loves these freaking circle things. It's awful. It's like the worst. It's the worst look ever. And it's just right over here. And then she's got this like fucking plant thing in the corner. I can't see. I do. That is one thing. I need help. Like I gotta get
plant
control.
thing you just said.
I need to get control of this.
I have absolutely no control over this household. This is the only room I have.
Yeah,
this is a collection since I was like 10 years old, and I don't think anything's ever going to be added to it, unfortunately. But I'm happy with what I have so far.
Yeah, like I got good stuff too. Like I got good like sports memorabilia. It's in the basement. Like you know what? I'm going to plant the flag at some point. The office is getting redecorated. It's
now's the time. You've already got the camera and the lights. Now's the time.
Yeah, I gotta make my move. It's going to happen. You guys have convinced me for sure. But new promo we're launching this week is basically it's going to be a free month of DFS or of our Run Pure Sports bets package. So if you sign up for a monthly DFS plus bets package, it has to be monthly DFS with the bets. You get the bets portion for free for the first month. That promo code is going to be Get Bets. So Get Bets gets you the bets portion of the DFS bets package, gets you the bets package for free for 1 month. So head on over to Run Pure Sports, choose that package, use the promo code Get Bets to get the bets portion for free. It has to be monthly DFS bets combo pack. All right, before we hop into the slate, as Big T alluded to, it was just another monstrous weekend for our members. And I think it was bigger for the members than the coordinators. Obviously, we had some big wins late last week. JSU took down the 200K opening night of MLB. I had a good weekend. Took down the Thunderdome MLB and NBA the one night. But our members just absolutely smashed. And we're going to go through and kind of name the members that did well. Like Tony said, it was some of our regulars, guys that are in there grinding every single slate in the Discord. Just very active members in the RPS community. First guy is MN Nice Cards, very active in our Discord. He took down $42,000. This was, I'm not sure the day, but it was in MLB. He won the $1,500 contest for $30K, and then first place in the $15 as well for $5K. So yeah, $42,000. He took home basically a profit of $40K. So congratulations to MN Nice Cards. And not unfortunately, this is going to be kind of a lengthy segment because we got a lot here. The next guy, a regular, as Tony said, MC Dusty 44, took down $50K. He had that was Saturday night, I believe it was, with Barrios and Burns, that combo. They faced off against each other. A lot of these sites will tell you can't play pitchers from the same game. Well, this was a night you definitely want to do that. Barrios and Burns combined for what looks like 74 fantasy points. He took down $50K. Congratulations to MC Dusty.
Eric, MC was off $300 too. Like, I love to always bring that up. Like, he played for like $300 and won $50K. Like that every time. It's awesome.
Oh, it's absolutely, and that's the majority of our member win stuff. And even look at JSU. The 1,000 in play, shit, freaking 200K. So we're seeing a lot of that. Absolutely awesome. So this was the same night. Eric 6312. He went with that Barrios Burns combo. A lot of our coordinators were kind of talking about that. And our boy, man, this dude, Mercedes dude for the White Sox. I saw Big T. You tweeted about him. I was on him as well. I think he's a beast. That's a big boy at the plate.
The wild part about these two lineups, that guy's the wild part about the two lineups that I didn't even realize until I posted them on Twitter, but somehow MC and Barrick had the same exact lineup and they both shipped and they weren't in the same contest somehow. like Barrick played the 444 he shipped and he wasn't in the $15 somehow. It shipped both tournaments with the same team and somehow they weren't in the same one. The exact same team.
It is. I'm pulling it up. Well, hey, it works out well.
They weren't in the same tournament, which is just amazing.
They each get they each get the same result. Don't share any of the money. So I mean,
Barrick was only I could be wrong because there's been so many freaking winners this weekend, but I think that was the only tournament he played. Like one team, one tournament, ship.
That's what it was, K-Falk?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. I mean, very impressive here. It doesn't have the logo though. I think we did get him to switch the logo, right? Alter Bridge on FanDuel.
I don't know about him switching. One of the dudes said he had a dog logo.
He got second place or something. He said he got second place as well, but he had a dog logo, not the RPS logo.
Yeah, he said basically he couldn't get rid of the dog logo. But anyhow, he's an RPS member. So this guy, Alter Bridge, FanDuel squeeze. I'm not sure which night, Saturday. So Saturday night as well. First place, second place, third place, fourth place, sixth place, and eighth place. I mean, this is one of the more impressive wins you're going to see. Took down 50, 55, over 60 grand in this contest. First place, second place, third place, fourth place, sixth, and eighth. I mean, that is as impressive and dominant as you can get in DFS. Absolutely phenomenal performance for him.
Damn shame he didn't get fifth place though.
Yeah, I mean,
not good enough.
Got fifth. We should have seen who got fifth that night.
Congrats to them. Was Andrew G. Andrew G, you ruined a good thing if you're listening. Andrew G,
come on, Andrew G.
Yeah, get out of there. Our boy Kevin Huffman, PGA winners this week, took down 21K. Kevin Huffman, let's see, took down a single entry. It looks like 15K, and then both single entries. A $200 single entry, $100 single entry for over 20 grand. Congratulations to him. And the last guy is Mike J 32. Took down first in the PGA Thunderdome. Some of that money's mine, I must admit. I was in that and not in the top 7 here. So I gave some money there to Mike J 32. He won the Thunderdome on FanDuel or on DraftKings this week for 30K. So congratulations to all the winners. And as I always say on the show, if you want to be a part of this segment, if you have a big win, make sure to tag Run Pure Sports and also change your logo. Even if you're not a member, I don't care. Get in there, change your logo, tag Run Pure Sports when you win. We'll shout you out in this segment. It was a lengthy one, boys. I mean, it was longer than usual, but this weekend, the streak continues. And Big T, I mean, you and I always talk about it. It's so rewarding to see some of these members win. And we're very passionate about it at Run Pure Sports, trying to build this community. I mean, phenomenal weekend for the members.
People always act like we just say it because we own the company and do stuff like that, but I believe it. I mean, K-Fallic knows there's nights where it's 2 a.m. and we're in there rooting people on and like happy. And like Saturday night, I didn't have the best night. I think I cashed one of my 3 teams. I was definitely going to lose a little bit of money that night. I was just as happy to root Barrick and these guys on. That's what we do. Put the logo up there. I mean, if you got your dog picture, whatever, keep your dog up there. That's fine. But put the logo up. We want to talk about it too. We like talking about these winners because we love the community. K-Fallic does all this crap, doesn't ever want anything back. He's always in there helping people out. That's what we do at Run Pure. We can say it all we want, but it's the truth.
Yeah, and K-Fallic is obviously very helpful with everything here at Run Pure Sports. And, we are very thankful for everything he does. And he absolutely refuses to let us, compensate him in any way, shape, or form. It's something he's just passionate about doing, helping the people in our community. So we just want to, thank you for all that you do for us.
No, I want this. I've wanted. Big T and I have been buddies for years now, and started off as we always say in Rubio and Tristan's Superstar Sports chat during the World Cup, and always talked to him and wanted to see him be successful. And when he said he was doing this, I was incredibly excited and brought over some people with us, and I finally was able to get my thing going, and I want others to be successful with it. I'm lucky enough to be in a position where I don't need to ask for any more pay, and I want to make sure that y'all are able to get the best talent that you can and keep the best talent that you can around here. But I'm done with the stroke session, if that's okay. The stroke session is not necessary. We just got the biggest news of the slate about 30 seconds ago. Is it okay that we actually talk about the slate now?
Yeah, we'll get there.
You came on the show just so you could do this one day. You're always the one pushing it in.
I didn't know we were gonna have 15 minutes of a stroke session of users and ourselves.
Hey, when you do, it's unfortunate, but when you do a show with a guy that just literally like ships every single slate, it's just turned into a segment where like you literally have to stroke Big T in some way, shape, or form before we can talk about any sport. Trust me, it's the last effing thing I'd want to do on a daily basis, but it's become a regular segment. Today was more about the members though, which is good. So yes, we can move on. We can talk about the slate. Big T, any final words, or are we talking basketball?
I mean, I'm still laughing from Hoop saying he's got a tree in the side of the office.
Oh, you want to? Next to the hole. I mean, it's not. The worst thing is it's like a fake freaking tree. Let me see if I can get it over. You see that thing?
There it is.
Isn't that awful? It's like a golden, like fake.
It's just on the ground.
What was that MTV show? I want y'all to, now that I think Holden should do like the MTV show Cribs. I want him to do Cribs, where he goes around all of the coordinators' houses and like talks about the house that it's.
It would be funny to see the different setups.
We could make that happen. There's no, I mean, there really is no doubt about that.
I actually think it would be a funny segment.
It would be hilarious. Going through Matt Goat's office or through his apartment that looks like.
It'd be good.
Check out everyone's workbench setup. Make sure it's
whole setup, just like Cribs. The whole setup.
Oh, all right. Let's. We're here to talk some basketball. So why don't we do that finally? And it only took us about 20 minutes to get there, but we're gonna talk some basketball.
When do I get to talk about Freddie Couples week? Is that on the Wednesday show? Do I got to wait till Wednesday?
Yeah, you got about 48 more hours before you can start talking about Mr. Couples. All right.
God forbid we don't win. God forbid nobody wins tonight. You have plenty of time tomorrow because the stroke session will be a lot shorter. So
we're going to ship again though, because we got K Fallick on here with us. We're going to have another stroke session tomorrow.
Best analysis here, man. I can't imagine a better trio for NBA breakdown. We'll get into it. We got the Knicks, Nets, 217.5 total. Nets favored by 6 in this game. There was, kind of some speculation that James Harden might be out. He was questionable, but they released their official injury report, and he's firmly in play, not on the injury report. So he's going to play tonight, which is, a downgrade for all these other Nets, and makes him, a pretty decent play in himself. I mean, 10.9K on DK. Obviously, when Harden and Irving are in, not much usage to go around for many other guys. The one guy I will say that's somewhat interesting, I know Big T, you were on him. The first game he played was LaMarcus Aldridge, played upper 20s in terms of minutes, 5.6K on DK. I think he's somewhat interesting. On the Knicks side, this is not a team I'm going to be looking to all that much here tonight. We have some really good value plays. We have some big names that are out. Obviously got another big name out that we'll discuss here in a little bit. This is not a team I'm looking to target, I think, at all tonight. There's really nobody that I'm going to play on the Knicks side. On the Nets side, it's going to be James Harden, maybe LaMarcus Aldridge. I think Aldridge is a little bit interesting. If he's going to play upper 20s in terms of minutes, I think he has the potential to maybe have a big game here. So I'll go to you first, K. Fallick. Thoughts here on the Knicks-Nets game?
Yeah, I think it's a straightforward game, as Hoop said. When you have, I'm the biggest thing I'm worried about with Brooklyn is you don't only have Harden and Kyrie, you now have LaMarcus Aldridge that's added into the conversation, and you don't know how that's going to add in regards to usage. So I think Brooklyn is a great spot where you just kind of see what happens, because there's going to be pace down as well. But I will say, if this game stays close on the other side, bigs against Brooklyn is a thing that we stand by, and Thibodeau ball is something that we also know. And right now he's back to playing 5 guys for all the minutes, and then he brings in his backups for 4 or 5 minutes just to give them a little break, and then he goes right back to those guys. So you had a blowout where they blew out New York, or where they blew out Detroit, and Julius Randle played 30 minutes through the first 3 quarters, and then So you have to expect that he was on his way to 40 minutes. You got to expect that RJ Barrett was on his way to 37, 38 minutes, and pace up for them. And it could be a good spot. Not sure it ends up being the spot, but I will say that Julius Randle definitely is somebody you have to be interested in. Elf Payton is getting his rollback as well, and he's only 4.6. That one actually I have a lot of interest in as well. For some reason he's projected for low minutes, but I'm not sure why, to be honest.
Yeah, Elf Payton, the price tag is pretty good. I mean, 4.6K.
Problem is you have value everywhere, but it's a good spot still, I think.
Yeah, and he flashed that upside last time out, 38 fantasy points, had a 31 fantasy point game 2 games ago. So I think he's somewhat interesting just because more so the price tag. But like you said, we have value. We have a ton of value that, we can look to tonight. Big T, thoughts here on the Knicks and Nets?
Yeah, I mean, I basically agree with what you guys were saying. I always like Randall against Brooklyn. I mean, it's just a matter of where your roster construction comes together. I don't have an issue, though, with him at all. Aldridge, I used my one time on Aldridge, and I'm not going back to him. He was 4K. Yeah. The spot was better. He's back up close to 6K now, and he's only center. I'm definitely back on the Aldridge fade for probably the rest of my life. If he gets super cheap again at some point, I'll be back. But I don't know, like the Knicks play that pace that even against Brooklyn, I'm not going to really love these Brooklyn guys. I mean, they're fine. Sure, if you land on James Harden, what can I say? Sure, he's fine. But I don't necessarily ever want to play guys against the Knicks. And for me, it's just Randall in this game. Like I said, maybe. I mean, if you land on Kyrie even, he'll be low owned tonight. I don't think he's a great play. But if you land on those guys, at least they got upside. I mean, if they have a game where they go off, at least they can get there. Not for me, more than likely, though.
We have Hector's – I forgot. We have Hector's revenge narrative situation here where Julius Randle got screwed out of the win or the potential win against Brooklyn last time where he went completely off. So
was that game where he was throwing?
Where he had that, he got screwed over in that one play. So there is that piece. So I want to give a little shout out to our boy Hector and make sure he knows that we know when revenge is there. Today it is there.
Yeah, that was that game. He was not
pleased.
Yeah. So I mean, the problem with slates like this is we have obviously some big news and we have some key spots, and this is just not a game that you're going to be focused on. There's probably only 2 or 3 games that you're really going to be focused on when you're building your teams. And Big T more so than anyone, he's done a good job of saying, just there's certain slates where you don't need to get all that cute. And I mean, would you say that this is one of those slates again? I mean, we talked about it on the Friday show and on the Friday night slate. If you didn't get cute, you did all right. I think this could be one of those situations again where you don't necessarily need to get super cute overall.
It's been the theme of the season for the most part too. Like if you just play these guys and maybe filter in 1 or 2 guys that are lower owned, you just crush. And even the roster construction, if you just do a different roster construction, you can crush. The next month's going to be this way. There's going to be so much news the next month that just play the easy plays when you get them and take your chances.
Yeah. All right. Before we move on to the next game, just a reminder, if you guys could do us a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps us to continue to bring you guys these shows for free. Like, subscribe. If we get an adequate number, I mean, we're shooting for 500. If we get to a number we like, we'll give away a piece of gear at the end, or, you never know. Like we've been prone to go wild and give tickets away as well. So just make sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe. It helps us to continue to bring you guys these shows for free. Next game, you have the Cavs. We have the Spurs, 218 total. Spurs favored by 9.5 in this game. And the Cavs are going to be without a few pieces tonight. No Jared Allen, no Larry Nance, no Dylan Windler. That leaves a pretty thin front court for the Cavs. The problem is in their front court, main piece is Kevin Love. He's not going to play a ton of minutes. He did get up to 23 minutes last time out. 30 fantasy points. So if there's, a chance he gets up to the upper 20s in terms of playing time, could be interesting for tournaments. I mean, he's a guy that obviously has a pretty big upside. Taurean Prince played 32 minutes, I believe, last game. Yeah, 32 minutes, 32 fantasy points. He's 3.8K. I think he's a pretty solid play tonight. He's going to just have to play minutes. They just don't have any other options. And then on the Spurs side, I mean, I just, this is a team that we've talked about a lot, Big T and myself. And when they're at full strength or close to full strength, it's just hard to play these guys. They have so many guys. And then you have the Pop situation. Who knows what Pop's going to do? So can't imagine clicking the Spurs name tonight. Maybe you guys have a different opinion, but really two guys in play for me tonight in this game would be Taurean Prince. I like him a lot as a value plays 3.8K on DK. And Kevin Love, I think, is somewhat interesting in tournaments. You're, playing him in the hopes that he gets maybe 5 or 6 more minutes of playing time today. Big T, go to you. First thoughts here on this Cavs Spurs game.
Yeah, I'm just happy we got my good buddy Fallick on the show today because we got his Spurs, who he loves his little charts, and we got his favorite player, at least in the discussion, Mr. Windler, who he said's not playing tonight. But
yeah, it's a shame. I almost just moved right past this game because Windler's out.
These two teams, but no, I mean Taurean Prince strikes me as the guy that everyone that sees the game log, he played that he'll come back with like 9 fantasy points for sure tonight. Got to stay away. But I like the Kevin Love call from Hoop. I mean, he's at least a guy where if he somehow got a little extra run, like he could totally crush. I like Taurean Prince. I mean, like it's got him projected like 40% owned. Are you shitting me?
No,
it can't. There's no way it's updated yet, but it's too high right now. Yeah.
I mean, like, it's just absurd that, he played 32 minutes, 32 fantasy points. I would bet anything that he gets nowhere near that tonight. I just don't. He's just a classic bad chase play that I just don't think he's a good play. But Kevin Love, I didn't think I was going to have any interest in this game. I was just going to move clearly past it. But Kevin Love's one of those guys that you could play a team with all chalk. Kevin Love is your last dude, and all of a sudden you're different just by doing that. And he at least could go off for you. I kind of like the Kevin Love. It kind of reminds me in a way of the Aldridge play last week where he's not 4K like Aldridge, but 5,700 for K-Love. If he somehow played 30 minutes or something, like he could get you 50 fantasy points or something.
Yeah. I think he's a much better play on FanDuel at 4.6 in regards to just being the low-owned role that he plays. Because what I like about guys like Kevin Love is that when he's playing those 25 minutes, you know that the ball is going to be in his hand in those 25 minutes. So that's what really jumps out to me with a guy like Kevin Love is that he's going to get the ball when he's in. So even though he's in for so few minutes, he's still going to have the ball the whole time. So you have a big usage increase in a high potential for sure.
Yeah, and Big T, got anything else in this game or good for?
I mean, whenever you throw random dudes like Kevin Love out, I take note because I like that. Usually you throw out the freaking who's the dude I just made fun of? Taurean Prince.
Taurean Prince is definitely a more of a hoop play. But hey,
I'm used to making fun of it. I'm used to that. When you say Kevin Love, I fall out of the chair and I take notice.
And the 4X play starting to heat up. I don't know if you remember who it was Friday, but Mr. Gary Trent Jr. And that call I made at the time of the trade starting to look a little bit better. The chat was going to smash me. They're trying to take Hoop out when I said
I'll never understand how they didn't agree with you though. They should know when we agree that it's just they shouldn't make fun. How is the world are they that different? Trent and whatever the hell the other
Norman Powell. It's the same thing.
Norman Powell.
Pointless trade of all time. Gary Trent, Norman Powell, same player. I swear to God.
They're at least like close to the same player.
Similar. I mean, they're similar in terms of their production.
Yep.
Get in there. Go ahead, Fallick.
No, I agree with y'all. You're definitely right.
Yeah. All right. What are your thoughts here on this Cavs Spurs game?
Next.
Yeah. All right. That works for me. Hey, anytime we can move along, I'm good to move along. We'll hop into the next one. We got the Wizards. We have the Raptors. 227.5 total. Raptors favored by 5. We got the big news not too long ago that Fred VanVleet is going to be out tonight. That's big for a plethora of guys on the Raptors side. Flynn will get the start. They already announced that last time out. He played 30 minutes, 33 fantasy points. He looked very solid. I got some news on the Thunder. He looked good. He's going to be popular tonight, 3.5K. Gary Trent, price is up there, but man, he's been playing very well. 32, 40, 41 fantasy points. He's going to play a lot of minutes, have the ball in his hands a ton. I think he's a strong play. OG, strong play. Siakam, strong play. Boucher. I mean, you got 5 very strong plays on the Raptors side. On the Wizards side, kind of need to get the Bradley Beal news. He's questionable. If he were to sit, obviously it's a huge upgrade for Russell Westbrook, but we're really going to need that news before we can really break down that situation. But we have the news on the Raptors side. I'll throw it to you first, K. Fellick, kind of break down the Raptors situation for me.
So it's just like you said, you got 5 guys that are going to be seeing a ton of minutes. I think that your lineup starts with Malachi Flynn, and 3.5K on DK and on FanDuel. It's trying to figure out what you go from there. Usage is going to be around. I don't think I've ever seen OG at 7.2K. It's a crazy price, but it's very deserved. Gary Trent Jr.'s 5.4 on FanDuel is a fantastic play now. 6.6 on DK makes it a little harder, or a lot harder. I think DK did a good job on pricing up these guys, and in trying to deal with it. I am hoping that Bradley Beal is in, because I think that the Wizards should be able to handle this team if Beal's in, because they don't have depth and you have 2 guys attacking you at all times. We got lucky with Boucher. I don't know if I want to go back there after last game. We got so lucky that he had an insane third quarter. But this Raptors team somehow beat Golden State by 60, and I'm really not sure how it happened.
Man, that was wild. And they had them doubled up at halftime in the crazy. You just don't see that in this day. I mean, there hasn't been a lot of blowouts this year, but to literally beat a team by 60 is absolutely insane. Big T, go to you. Thoughts here on this Raptors game?
Yeah, I mean, this game is why the NBA slate is easy this year, and tonight especially. Play these Toronto guys, play Russell Westbrook, and just go collect your money, because unless they win by 40 again like the other night, or 60, whatever we said they won by, felt like they were up. I mean, they were doubling them up at halftime, where it was just an absurd score. So, I mean, K. Fallick said it best, though. Boucher the other night, God, I ended up playing him. He was so terrible, and somehow he ended up getting there. He's probably the one guy I'm going to leave out. But, man, Pascal, OG, Trent, and Flynn, those 4, I just really have a hard time not playing all 4 of them with Westbrook and trying to figure the rest out after that, or at least 3 of those 4 with Westbrook and figuring the rest out. I mean, Flynn at 3,500, I don't see any scenario you don't play him. Like, he's going to play. They showed it. He played the other night, 30 minutes. I mean,
it's because they don't have another guard. They literally have 2 guards now. And then you have to play a guy like Bembry at the guard position. And I don't know if they have any other guards.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't see a reason not to just play these guys. I'm happy because, like I said, I want to settle in and watch this title game tonight too. So we're going to win this NBA money the easy way, and then we're going to work a little harder to win the college money.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, obviously, I don't like the part about the college game. You know, I won't be tuning into that. But
if you didn't enjoy that game the other night, then you'll never.
You think I watched that game?
That was like the best game since like the Christian Leitner game.
That was incredible. Incredible game.
Hoop doesn't even know what game it was. Is the best.
You really think Hoop watched that game?
That one, I think you would have enjoyed it because it was in the 90s.
I know, but
80s at least, whatever it was.
I saw the highlight. I saw the highlight of the shot.
You don't like half-court buzzer beaters in overtime?
Not at the college level. At the NBA level, yeah, maybe. Dude, I mean, he banked it in. That's painful.
Oh,
that hurts.
Don't even go down this alley. Just move to the next game.
I want to again say, Toronto, I just looked at their roster, and now I know where their guards are, because you got Watson and McCaw, who are both out as well. And while people may not realize that, there's where the big minutes go towards. I don't see how Gary Trent and Flynn don't play every single minute that they can tonight.
Blowout is the only way weird things don't happen. If this game doesn't blow out, these guys are going to crush. There's no way around it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's probably going to end up being what, a 3.5 point spread once it adjusts for Van Fleet, maybe even 2. I mean, how much is
Westbrook isn't going to get blown out by this team. He's just not. Like, he's going to compete. They're gonna hang in there because they're not going to be able to guard Westbrook. Who's going to guard him?
Yeah,
don't know.
He's going to be living at the rim tonight.
Did the spread adjust at all with Van Fleet being out? Just curious.
Couldn't have moved much.
4, yeah, just moved 1, so down to 4. But yeah, I agree. I mean, I think we can anticipate a close game and potentially high scoring. So I like that call. I mean, does your Westbrook love adjust at all if Beal's in or no? Yeah.
I mean, sure, like slightly he's not as good of a play, but I still like him. I don't think Beal's going to play anyways, but even if he does, I'm still going to play Westbrook.
Yeah, and we'll get the news obviously, so that shouldn't be an issue. But definitely tune in to JSU and Holden, who will be taking you guys up to lock after this show, and that's part of the premium product over at Run Pure Sports. So head on over there so you can tune in to get their breakdown of all the news, and we should get some because all these games are 7 p.m. Eastern.
I will say it too, because someone in the chat said about Stanley Steamer. Just because I know it's a possibility, like he's 3K. If he makes it all work to where you can just fit it all in there, I mean, I don't hate playing him. They got no bodies. I don't think he's got crazy upside, but.
Don't even say that. Remember when you made fun of me for mentioning Steamer and he went off for 30 right in your face?
Yeah, I played him, I think, that night after I made fun of you.
Yeah, that's usually how it works. You make fun of Hoop, and then you start to put some thought into your head, and you know what, that kind of makes a little bit of sense.
He is terrible, but
I do agree with that part. I think he's a really bad basketball player. But
I mean, you got these guys, like, just looking at this is how I always end up building, and it looks easy because you got all these dudes. Sure, the guys we talked about, the 5 of them are going to play like most of the minutes. But you still got these other guys that are 3K, all of them. Stanley, Bembry, and Baines are all 3K basically. I don't think it's like the worst ever to play one of those guys to make your team work. Like if everything works perfect, as long as you're playing a bunch of Toronto with it to where you get the upside of the other guys too, I think it's fine.
Yeah, they just updated Beal and still just the game time decision. So nothing to move the needle yet on him. So you definitely want to pay attention to that news. I mean, if he's in, I think he's interesting as a tournament play. Not many people will play him because he's questionable all day. If he's out, Westbrook, I think, not only can we expect a big game from Westbrook, but his ownership is going to come up quite a bit if Beal does end up sitting. So that's probably the most important piece of news that we're waiting for on this slate. All right, next game, Kings, Timberwolves. Big total, 236.5. Kings favored by 4.5. And the situation for the Timberwolves got a little bit muddier recently because they said that D'Angelo Russell is going to play, but very limited role off the bench. Not too sure what to expect with that, but I think all the guys that we kind of liked before coming on, I think you can still peg his plays. McLaughlin is a really good play. I think Anthony Edwards is a very solid play, probably more so in tournaments. Karl Anthony Towns, I think, is the premier spend on the slate. I mean, these guys are just playing a lot of minutes now. 44 last game, 39, 38. Hasn't been under 53 fantasy points in about 6 games. Had a 70 burger last time out. I think he's a very solid play tonight. He'll be popular. But where this game is interesting, I think, is on the Kings side. I don't think many of these guys are going to have all that much ownership, but this total is big. If the game does stay close, you could see a lot of guys have huge fantasy games. So curious to get your guys' take on the Kings side, if there's any appeal there in tournaments. And then obviously what you guys think about the Timberwolves as well. We'll start with you, Big T. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, I think he can still definitely go to these Minnesota guys. I'm not even really acknowledging the D'Angelo Russell news. If he plays, I don't think he's going to do anything crazy with minutes. Yeah. He just gives another body in there that is what – I don't know why he's even playing anyways. But for me, Minnesota's super easy. It's going to be Cat and it's going to be McLaughlin, who I think is going to be crazy low-owned now with D'Lo coming back. And I think – Sacramento's the team. We say it every show we want to pick on, and no one's really going to play him at 4,400. But he played 42 minutes. That game didn't go overtime, I don't think, but 42 minutes. Can you imagine if he plays 42 minutes tonight against Sacramento or anywhere close to that? Like, he is going to – I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't be projected in the third. They want to see what he's got a little bit. They want to give him some run. I like him even at 4,400. I think he's one of the sneakiest plays of the slate. And I think that price is still too cheap. And I don't know. I don't think anyone's going to play him. And then Sacramento, man, I just am not going to be excited about Sacramento. On a slate where we didn't have value, I could see playing Terrence Davis, who's looked pretty good lately at 3,600. He's coming off a 38-point game, but not on this slate. We got so much guaranteed value. It's not a Terrence Davis slate. De'Aaron Fox, as our boy Mangone said, man, safest player at 9,800. He tried to tell me that day. Whoo! It has slid the wrong direction with 2 games under 30 since then. But you can't win them all, Mangone. You can't win them all, my friend. That was not one of the better takes.
Chris Hogan-esque take right there.
Whew. When he said that day, I almost fell out of my chair. Like, 9,800, Fox is safe. Whew.
It is funny. It is funny with Mangone. Very, very sharp DFS player. Ton of success. But, man, since the inception of Run Pure Sports, I think he's had some of the worst takes of the entire team. His first ever play of the day was Paul Millsap, who went out and had like 8 fantasy points. The Chris Ho planted his flag on one of the first ever morning wood shows at Run Pure Sports. Planted his flag with Chris Hogan, who goose-egged. Came up with the layered rough term for PGA, which just made no sense. And tried pinning it on me too, which like makes even less sense. So the Mangone takes have been rough, but I will say very sharp DFS player, a lot of success. The takes though have been pretty brutal.
The dude in the chat says McLaughlin 37% on DK. There is literally no chance.
Yeah,
37%.
The adjustments have not come in for all of this news yet, and we're gonna have to wait 20 minutes to feel confident with the ownership and the projection numbers and stuff like that as we're jumping into it. So I'll throw a few thoughts real quick. Yeah. Kings, I have no interest in anymore. It's weird. Okay. They went to the trade deadline and they were playing tight rotations. They traded away some very important rotation players. And I thought that they were not, except for the fact that they got DeLon Wright back. I was like, I don't understand these trades a lot. And they now are playing 10 deep. They're all getting 15. These backups are getting 15 to 20 minutes apiece. Yeah. So now the starters have lost that like 35-minute upside. So I think that they're pretty lousy plays now. Unless they just absolutely go off. They don't have the minutes anymore. Minnesota last game, and Tony talked about it for a second, they had 4 guys on the court almost the entire game. Karl Anthony Towns played 44 minutes. Jordan McLaughlin played 42 minutes. Anthony Edwards played 41 and a half minutes. And Jaden McDaniels played 36 minutes. And if you can expect that again today, I would almost say that they are better plays than the Toronto plays are at a lot lower ownership. And I would, if you told me Anthony Edwards was going to get 42 minutes again tonight against Sacramento in the pace that Sacramento plays, I would put Anthony Edwards up there. He got 27 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist. Understand that Anthony Edwards was getting 7 to 10 rebounds every single game lately, in addition to steals and blocks and everything like that, and he had assist upside too. I have no clue what D'Angelo Russell's going to do, but if you told me that Anthony Edwards is getting 42 minutes, I would not – there is no way I would fade that guy.
Yeah. Now, I mean, what sort of minutes are we banking on D'Angelo Russell play? I mean, the quotes were a very limited roll off the bench. I mean, we're thinking like 15, 16 minutes.
I think you can basically lock him into like 15 to 20 tops. Like, yeah, I think you can lock it into that. Maybe like 2 8-minute runs or something.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I'm not letting that news affect what I'm doing with the Timberwolves. And plus with Russell coming off an injury, I mean, he typically – is a slow starter in games. Like he takes a laid back approach. I don't think it affects anything in terms of, what you think overall on the Timberwolves tonight.
But I would say on that is you have McLaughlin at 4.4 on DK. And as I said before, you have Elf Payton at 4.6 on New York against Brooklyn. Very similar spots, in my opinion. Both play some pretty lousy defense. And I could see them both at equal minutes. And I'm not sure. I think you're getting Elf still. You're going to get Elf Payton at 20 times less ownership. And I think that Elf Payton will have the ball more as well. So Elf Payton still remains an interesting GPP play for me as a play off of McLaughlin.
Yeah, no doubt about that. All right, let's move on to the next game. We have the Pistons. We have the Thunder, 213.5 total. Detroit favored by 3. Both sides are going to be without some key pieces. On the Pistons side, no Mason Plumlee, no Wayne Ellington, no Okafor, no Magruder. But man, you look at this roster.
13 guys projected.
It's like crazy. How many do the Pistons have like some special exemption where they can like roll with like 20 dudes? Because it feels like whenever there's injuries, you go to the roster and they still have like tons of dudes available to play, right? It's crazy. So they still have a lot of bodies, but the one guy that gets the big boost is Isaiah Stewart. He'll start. He's 4K and DK. He's going to be pretty popular tonight. A guy that goes out there and kind of busts his ass and racks up, block steals and rebounds and whatnot. So I think he's a strong play. I think Jeremy Grant's a good play. I think Josh Jackson in tournaments is interesting. He has some big upside. The Thunder situation though got kind of messed up here for us because it looked like they're only going to have 8 bodies. But during the show, they announced that, Justin Robinson and Jalen Horde are available to make their debuts tonight. So looked like they're going to have 8. Now they're going to have 10 guys, and you can kind of bank on all 10 guys playing. They said these guys are going to get normal rotation minutes. So for me, that's going to take me off some of these Thunder guys because now, an 8-man rotation is much different than a 10-man rotation. All 10 of these guys are going to get run. These guys were already kind of fringy because the price tags have come up a little bit. So that really concerns me here with the Thunder side of things. I definitely need to analyze it a little bit further. I'll go to you first, Big T. What are your thoughts here on the Thunder situation? These two, guys making their debut, and then the Pistons.
I mean, I hope people play guys from this game because these are the games I never play people from. I have zero interest. I mean, Isaiah Stewart, sure, but like at 4K, I want him to end up in the 30s. I don't think he has that kind of game. I don't think he can get in the 30s for me. I don't think he plays enough minutes with all these bodies. I don't think he's good enough, frankly, to get in the 30s for me. I hope he ends up chalky because I think he's a crappy play. And this game's ugly. I'm going to go other places. And these are the games I stay away from this year. If this game beats me, I'll live with it. I'll be just fine living with it.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to kind of see what happens because I feel like these Thunder guys were going to be pretty popular. I don't know if people stick with them or how the projections adjust to the news, but I mean, bringing 2 more bodies. The only reason we were playing these guys is because there was 8 dudes that were going to be in the rotation. You knew Darius Miller wouldn't play a ton of minutes. Now you have 10 guys, and they're all going to play. K-Fallick, what are your thoughts on the Thunder and then any interest in the Pistons?
My chart heart went down very quickly when I saw
that's not. That news definitely can't be good for the charts.
No, it was not exciting at all when I saw that news. All I could think of is, what do I do? I was ready to get off of this, say how bad of a play Darius Miller was, even though he was projecting so high, it made no sense that he was going to play 25 minutes, get my charts ready for my 7 players that OKC was going to play, and just really get excited about it. And then they bring in 2 guys, and I don't want to touch anymore. And Detroit, I'm very excited that Tony and I are on the same page on this. I think that Isaiah Stewart is a bad play, and maybe not a bad play. He's a good cash play. But
like he's gonna get you 20. Like
he's a good cat. He's a perfectly good cash play. But I don't see the upside there. And if you told me that I could choose between Isaiah Stewart and Boban, I'm going to choose Boban, for example. Yeah. Now with Kristaps out, Boban at 3.8K on DK versus Isaiah Stewart at 4K. Give me Boban.
Yeah, and I guess that's a good segue into the next game, the Jazz at Mavericks game. 223 total. Utah favored by 5. And like you said there, Porzingis is now officially out. Josh Richardson is going to play. Both those guys were questionable before we started the show. Porzingis being out obviously paves the way for Boban to get some minutes, and really all he needs is minutes. 23 minutes last game, 33.5 fantasy points, and you have to imagine that they're going to use him here. The Mavs need to continue to win some games. They're going to be motivated. So with Porzingis out, I agree. Really like Boban. Luka gets a little boost as well. Hasn't had the big games though. That's the one concern. Like, he's kind of been slowing down from a fantasy perspective. We've got 43 fantasy points, 53, 47,
It's
47.
the minutes.
Yeah,
It's the minute. It's the minutes. They're not giving him more than 32 to 35 minutes, and he's just not getting him.
The rotations are weird. I just don't like the rotation that he's on, where he comes out like after 5 minutes, like in the first quarter. I don't know. Like, Carlisle occasionally does weird things that doesn't make sense. Like, how can you get in a flow if you're only playing 5 minutes and getting yanked? I don't know. It's tough. I mean, I think people will go to him now because Porzingis is out. I likely won't. And then on the Utah side, it's the same thing that we've talked about all season on the show. When these guys are at full strength, it's just really hard to invest in them for DFS purposes. They just have so many guys. They have so many guys that handle the ball. They have so many guys that score. Just a very tough team for DFS when they're at full strength, which is kind of where they're at right now. So for me, it's Boban, maybe Maxi Kleber as well. That's probably about it. We'll go to you first here, though. Okay, Felix, what are your overall thoughts?
Yeah, so the first thing I want to say is that we look at the last game on the chart side, on my side, and you see 24 minutes for Boban, but you don't see that he missed his last rotation. And that last rotation, and the same thing happened for Luka, to be honest. So Luka probably lost out on 4 minutes too, so he may have been closer to 36 or 37 minutes. But Boban was on his way to 28 to 30 minutes. And that elevates my interest on Boban. Past that, again, you can play Luka. I think that he's an interesting play solely because Dallas wants to win. I think this could be a really good game. But in the end, it's Boban for me. On the Utah side, as was already said as well, not a lot of interest with all the guys back again. They're a deep team in a quality rotation way. So they don't lose a step when their guys play 30 to 35 minutes apiece. So
yeah, no, there's some very good takes there. Big T, thoughts here on this Jazz Mavericks game?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be redundant, but it's another game that I'm not going to be involved in. Boban's fine, but I like Boban when he's 3K. I know he's only a little bit more, but 4K brings a lot more risk in, especially against Rudy. I don't know. Like, I don't think Boban ever plays 30 minutes. I mean, the other night was like
there's no risk on Boban today, in my opinion.
No risk?
Nah.
I'm with Felix on this one. Yeah. I mean, he has to be out. They're gonna need him out there.
Boban is 7 feet 12 friggin' tall. Like, he could play 14 minutes at any point. There's always downside to Boban. You guys, I like disagreeing. We can't stroke all show. I'll go against Boban.
If Willie Cauley-Stein were not in the game, were available, I would agree with you. But with no Willie Cauley-Stein, it leaves them with Boban and it leaves them with Dwight Powell as their bigs. They don't play Maxi at the center position unless they absolutely have to. And they have no choice. Rudy Gobert and Boban match up very well. Rudy Gobert and Dwight Powell match up very poorly for Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, I'll stay on the underside. You guys can have.
You're playing Boban.
You're playing Boban.
I'm definitely not playing Boban.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, I don't like Boban.
No.
I'm surprised.
The dude in the chat, Boban like 28 minutes. Like, I would love to bet under 28 minutes for Boban. Who wants to book it?
28. I mean, I
wouldn't book minutes on it. I'd book 30 points on it.
Well, 30 points? That's your number? That's the number you're coming up with?
Well, I'm saying I would personally I am planning for 30 points. I'm not going to book 30 points.
Yeah, I was going to say 30.
Yeah,
crazy.
I'd plan for 24 points and expect 30.
24. I think that's what he gets. I think he plays whatever for 20
minutes,
like 24 fantasy points.
I don't know if you're aware now, but Eric Crane has officially rubbed off on Big T. He needs like 37x from every player in his lineup.
24 isn't getting it done, boys. I'll tell you that right now. 24 from Boban is not getting it done tonight.
Yeah, I mean, there's not.
Show me a 4K guy that's
playing
center, huh?
The guards.
Okay.
I'll play those guards that are going to smash Boban tonight.
That's fair.
Play them all.
I don't need them all. I only need a few values. I mean, I'm not playing Luka. I'm not playing the Brooklyn guys. I don't need the salary.
Big T doesn't even need to fill out a full roster. He's just playing 4 dudes tonight, and he's going to ship.
Boban is not it tonight, so. I like arguing. I'm good with that. I'm fine being on the ledge.
All right.
I think he's going to like totally bust too, so that's why I feel convicted.
Interesting.
I have a feeling you might come back around on this one, but we'll see.
I can guarantee I'm not. I don't even like the matchup that much.
Any other thoughts about this game, or you're just off
besides fading the whole thing? So,
what's your player pool looking like tonight? 8, 9 dudes.
I only play the one team.
It's fine. It's fine. He's playing 150 lineups. He's playing his 5 core plays in every single one of them, and then he's going to rotate his 3 guys.
All of them.
Big T's on such a heater. He doesn't even need to use all the roster spots.
I play one team every night and ship. That's what happens. I'm going to do it again tonight without Boban.
All right, no, that's good.
I played one team on DK all year. I only need the one team.
Hey, if you only got to play one and win, I mean, why play more? I mean, honestly, makes sense.
I want everyone to play Boban and Isaiah Stewart. That's my dream for them.
No, nobody play Isaiah Stewart. Just play Boban. Well, actually.
It's going to be a great night. I'm going to play the Toronto guys, and everyone can play Boban and Isaiah, and then we'll line them up at the end of the night.
So nothing else in this game for you?
I mean, who do you want me to play? You keep trying
to. We've been off the Jazz all year for the most part.
Yeah, definitely not playing. Dallas, I'm off too.
We've been off Dallas. I mean, honestly, I've been off Dallas too for the most part. I mean, these, like you said,
we'll play 14 dudes. Yeah, Baines, I agree, Antonio. Baines will outscore Boban.
There it is. Oh, man, these likes are painful, though. 300, that's not going to be getting it done, crew. You guys got to hit that like button, hit the subscribe, or the show's not going to end so well for the chat if we don't get these likes up. So make sure hit the like, hit the subscribe. We have one more game, and it's probably going to be a pretty quick one to talk about. We have the Suns. We have the Rockets, 222 total. Phoenix favored by 14 in this game. And on the Rockets side, no John Wall, no Daniel House. That really doesn't matter to me. I am not really going to consider any Rockets guys tonight. And then on the Suns side, another team we haven't really been playing much of this year, and it's worked out pretty well. Kind of a team that's at pretty much full strength. They have a lot of guys. I don't really see them pushing it here against this absolutely dreadful Rockets team. So this game for me is probably one of the easier fades of the night. We'll stick with you, Big T. Anything standing out to you in this one?
I mean, so tonight is the most strange night of the year as far as all games at 7, one game an hour later at 8, and it's 2 teams that I'm very comfortable fading. So, there's basically no way I would play guys in this 8 o'clock game just based on the news. You only got the one late game now. It's not a good game. There's so many good early plays. Why do you want to wait for it? There's literally no reason to wait on guys in this game. If you love someone, sure, just go all in on them and play it. But I don't know who you could even possibly make a case for on this slate. Sure, if you wanted to play a low-owned guy, I'm sure this game's going to be low-owned for good reason. But for me, just a super, super easy fade. And I really don't even – there's not even a guy I would even consider. Maybe you guys can find someone to even, bring up.
No, I mean, I want nothing here. I mean, I'll continue to bring up the guy that you hate, Ayton, but I'm not playing him tonight. I mean, he's still 6.7K. It's been bad with him, but he had a nice.
God, he's bad. I just pulled him up again to make myself feel better. Coming off of 19.
The last two have been rough. The last two have definitely been rough.
Even his good games though, like look before that, 30.
I know. He doesn't get 37.9x. I get that.
That's what we need though.
Oh, he had some good games in there.
He had a few before that. Even his good games are like 40 though. I mean,
it's bizarre. I don't know.
2 games. I just looked like the last 40. He's had 2 good games.
It's the only guy I can make a case for. I wanted to at least mention one guy from this game. All right, I'm not playing.
If Alex got something on his mind, I think he might.
I do see him thinking.
I'm struggling with Houston because. While y'all say the house news is not important.
The charts.
I know.
They must be popping on the charts.
He loves Houston too.
First of all, DK priced up the Rockets, which I think makes it a lot easier on DK. So I appreciate them doing that. I will say I think Avery Bradley, if you're wanting I'm not playing him, but if you want a weird getting different play, Avery Bradley could be the guy at the cheap level on DK, but I will say on FanDuel, all of these guys are actually priced very fairly up high. And people are going to see the only chart that I have prepared so far for today has been pinned in Discord is what the Rockets minutes were prior to House getting injured versus after House getting injured. And they went big. They went Christian Wood, they went Kelly O, they went Jayshawn Tate, they went Sterling Brown, and they went Kevin Porter Jr. So you have to have some interest in Kelly O, KPJ, and Jayshawn Tate, especially on FanDuel. There has to be a little bit of interest. I'm not sure it's the right play today, but they're priced correctly. They're going to be low owned, and the usage is right now flowing through Kelly O and KPJ. And if Jayshawn Tate is able to stay out of foul trouble, he's in line for 40 minutes. And he's 5.9 on FanDuel, and he's a hustler. He can do a lot in those 40 minutes, is what I would say. I don't have a ton of interest in this game. I'm not saying I do. But in regards to what happens to the Rockets without Daniel House and without John Wall, just condenses minutes more and makes some of these guys in play on FanDuel.
Just to circle back for a minute, we officially got trolled by the Timberwolves. Not only is D'Angelo Russell playing, but so is Ricky Rubio. He's available to play tonight.
Ricky Rubio? Oh, that does actually throw things off.
Ricky Rubio is playing tonight. Rubio and D'Angelo Russell.
That actually jacks me up more than I anticipated.
Yeah.
My play was Anthony Edwards before this.
Yeah.
That's actually very hurtful, that news. Like, that basically hurts. I mean, that hurts all of them. I mean, maybe not Cat as much, but it hurts.
I think Cat's still good, but the rest of those guys, that's a big. I
mean, that kills McLaughlin or whatever his name is.
Yeah, it's got to totally nuke him out.
You're gonna laugh too, because I always, as we go through, this is my process every day. But I put my projections in as I go, as we go game by game. And you said I don't have any dudes. I couldn't even run it because I didn't have enough dudes in my player pool. It wouldn't go through.
I knew it. Listen to me. I knew I was right on that.
There wasn't enough dudes, and now I lose McLaughlin too.
Does anybody have an ownership on Boban?
I haven't seen anything.
He's going to have to be owned.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, you lose that Timberwolves value, so I mean, it definitely bumps him in terms of a cheap value. So I mean, it's got to come up quite a bit, I'd assume. But yeah, that kind of shuffles things a little bit. That's for sure. But
that really messes up stuff.
Last play there. Likes are still slacking. I mean, you guys are slacking on a Monday here. Only 355 likes. It is Monday. We'll be nice. We'll still go through the plays because it's a fun segment. But it's a very hurtful number, I must say. All right, let's hop into the plays of the day. I'll go first, though, because that news really doesn't affect my guy all that much. So I'm going to go first, let you guys reshuffle if you have to. So, the 4X play of the day, like I said, did well on Friday. It was Gary Trent Jr. I hate to do this. I've done it before in the past and it's worked out, but going back to back, I'm going right back to Gary Trent Jr. I think Still, people are going to be hesitant to pay that 6.6 price tag on him. He's been smashing. I think he smashes here. Going Gary Trent Jr. as the official 4X play of the day. All right, you ready, Fallick?
I'm ready.
All right, I know the news kind of threw you for a loop, but
I'm good.
All right, I'm going to.
I had to do a little chart moves to a little chart figuring, and I noticed that people are not going to like my play if you're a game log watcher. So that's always interesting to me. So I brought it up at the beginning of the show. I stand by it. I think Elf Payton is the chart man play of the game. Microsoft Excel still has not invested in the play yet. But 4.6K, he played 14 minutes against Dallas. He played 25 minutes against Detroit, and people won't notice that the Dallas minutes were impacted. I'm guessing I don't know what happened exactly, but it's definitely impacted his minutes. And then he lost fourth quarter run against Detroit. I'm putting him in line for 32 minutes. Usage is great at the 25% usage. And he's going to be my charts play of the day, Elf Payton.
Yeah. What sort of ownership do you see him coming? I think he's going to be pretty low owned.
Low. He's going to be he's going to be really low. He could be a little higher now that McLaughlin's out, but I don't see any ownership on him at all.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that's an interesting tournament play tonight for sure. All right, we're going to go to Big T with the official Monday night workbench play of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest, like I'm struggling a little bit now with the roster construction. And like I always say, I want to have a guy that I know I'm going to play on my main team. It's a struggle because the game I love is super chalky. I'm not going to give you a Toronto guy or obviously Russell Westbrook. I'm not going to give. I'm trying to find something that would be the best play I can come up with. He might not end up on my main team because I don't know roster construction yet. But I'm going with Hoops guy for good mojo. K-Love. I like K-Love as a workbench play. I felt good about that. The roster construction might not work for me with that 5,700 price point where I just don't know where I'm going to land. But I do think at his ownership and his upside, great play for the workbench play. That's all that matters anyways. I like to have him in my main team. Sometimes it just doesn't work out with the ownership to where it fits. Maybe it will, though. I'm going to try to fit him in there. So workbench play of the day, K-Love.
Love it, man. I mean, if he somehow inches up to like 28 minutes,
I think he could too against the Spurs. Like I really do. Like I think it reminds me of that Aldridge play in a weird way.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love it. All right, we're going to clear the way here for JSU and Holden. They'll be taking you up to lock, answering your questions, be able to break down that Bradley Beal situation. We should get that news relatively soon. That could shuffle things up for us again here tonight. So head on over to runpeersports.com and sign up. We have that promo code GETBETS. It gets you the bets package for free. You have to choose the monthly package with DFS and bets. You get the bets portion for free for the first month. So head on over to Run Pure Sports. Check us out.
The chat is talking about this too. I just want to be clear before we get off the chat. K-Love's on a minute. Like we understand the minutes. Like that's part of making it. If he was going to get 30 minutes, he'd be 50% owned. Like we understand the minutes limit. That's what makes him a low owned play. Obviously, you don't think it's never been wrong where they say the dude's not going to play. All of a sudden he plays 30 minutes because he's feeling good. Like it can happen. Who knows?
But he could also play 26 minutes, and we talked about this. His usage is through the roof during those minutes.
Yeah, I think
we understand it, though. I wanted to be clear about that.
Yeah, I think he's a very solid, sneaky play that, I mean, people are just going to be afraid to play because of the minutes limit, for sure. So, all right, we're going to get on out of here. So for the chart man himself, K. Fallick, for the workbench master, Mr. Big T, I'm just Hoop. Good luck to everyone tonight in your contest. We'll be back tomorrow.
Good luck, everyone.